Hi, I'm Bridget Underdahl from the Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction, and I'm honored to be supporting management of Project Aware, or Advancing Wellness and Resiliency in Education. Project Aware is a federal-based grant, and with these funds, our team has been able to build and grow school-based mental health systems in the Yakima, Wahluke, and Sunnyside school districts. Some of our team of supports include OSPI, Healthcare Authority, Educational Service District 105, and Mikey and Associates, all along with our district partners. Some really incredible things have been accomplished in our first 2 years of this grant, and with 3 years left, we know there is much left to be done. So much of that future planning has to do with the community members who are gracious enough to share their time and ideas annually when we host our community voice sessions. In these sessions, we hear from youth, staff, and community members from the districts. On the screen, I'll share just a small handful of voices we have heard during our first year. Some of the biggest needs we heard was the need for services for youth and the difficulty hiring mental health professionals to support these services. We also heard about the huge impact stigma has regarding mental health, and this kept some youth from receiving services or receiving them for a meaningful length of time. Because of what we heard from you, we made a huge push in areas around hiring with the goal of providing culturally responsive services. Due to those efforts, you may have seen new mental health professionals around your building or even gotten to sit down with them. There are also staff members helping with the coordination of services. These folks are the mental health professionals and support staff engaging in this work, providing services and interacting in school-wide discussions, training, systems-level teaming, data collection, and stigma reduction. Because of their efforts, hundreds of students have received services across the 3 districts, and nearly 2,000 staff and community members have received mental health training. To ensure equity in our school systems, we must ensure that our schools meet the growing social, emotional, and behavioral health needs of our students, and a part of that is mental health awareness, services for youth, and training for all school personnel. These are the goals of Project Aware. I know when I describe the impacts of Project Aware, I use the imagery of a tree. Project Aware is something that is watering the roots of a living and changing structure. Roots and foundations grow as funding, supportive individuals and preventative measures like curriculum, training materials, policy changes, and more are able to come into place. Over time, a tree produces what others can see and frequently benefit from. The leaves, fruit, and shade of Project Aware are the daily interactions. They're the social emotional learning curriculum your child interacts with, the services they can receive because of staffing and referral systems. The benefit to the community is the ability for the district to discuss mental health and normalize the presence of these services, the ability to partner with community providers, and the ability to offer mental health fairs, conferences, trainings, information, and presentations across every school. The benefit to schools is the continued training all staff receive so that they can be a part of a process that supports students with their social, emotional, and behavioral health needs. These are some of the big wins so far of Project Aware, and there is more to come. You heard very briefly about some of those accomplishments, partnerships, and services that are available in these districts. And in year 2 of our community voice sessions, we heard about the continued need for efforts around stigma reductions for our schools and families. Schools can help normalize that mental health is just another part of health and as important as physical health. Normalization happens through the vision and values of a school, in trainings, presentations, as well in conversations and promotion, all of which these districts have dedicated themselves to. Our districts are also committed to culturally and linguistically responsive destigmatization campaigns and efforts through trauma-informed and healing-centered approaches. On the screen, I'll share just a handful of voices we heard during year 2. In addition to the continued need around stigma reduction, we heard from you that there is a prioritization on social and emotional needs in focusing on mental wellness. As districts plan for the beginning of year 3 with Project Aware, your voice is a significant point of reference for planning, funding, and action forward. Your voice leads the way as social skill groups are formed, lessons on healthy habits are adopted, and additional staff for behavioral health are hired. We know the work has just begun, and so much is so desperately needed while intertwined with the fact that sustainable change takes time. Our team is honored to be doing this work and steadfast in providing the best care, building systems that will outlast the grant, and creating equitable pathways towards whole child support. To learn more, check out the Project Aware website and your district's mental health resources page. I really appreciate your time today and all the days in which you have shared with us and your school district just how we can improve and what this work should look like. We look forward to continuing this important work with you.